A thick fog swirled over the highway as the semi-truck cut through the night, its headlights slicing into the darkness, when suddenly a massive figure stepped directly into the road. The driver slammed both feet onto the brakes, tires screaming, the truck skidding sideways in the cold Wyoming air. And when the headlights finally froze on the figure ahead, the driver's blood ran cold. A mountain of a man stood in front of the truck, chest heaving, body covered in blood and dirt, muscles carved like stone, veins bulging from exhaustion, and eyes shaking with a terror that did not belong on a face that strong. He walked straight toward the window and slammed a fist against the glass so hard the entire door vibrated. "Please," his deep voice cracked. "Please, I need you to take me with you. Or they'll take her. They'll kill her." The driver's breath hitched. The fear behind the man's words wasn't normal, it was the kind that enters your bones. "Who?" the driver whispered. The man looked over his shoulder at the night, and the shadows in the forest seemed to breathe. "Please open the door. They're coming." Before the driver could respond, a sound rose from the woods, something that wasn't human and wasn't animal. Something that made the trees tremble. The driver unlocked the door instantly. And that single decision would change his life forever. The giant man collapsed into the passenger seat, gasping for breath, steam rising from his wounds into the cold night. The driver, Ethan Miller, slammed the door shut and hit the gas. He had been hauling freight across Wyoming for 20 years, but he had never seen anything like this. The man wiped blood from his jaw. "My name is Aaron Blake." His voice trembled with shame. "They're after my sister. I hid her. Bought her a few hours at best." Ethan swallowed hard. "Who the hell is chasing you?" Aaron stared out the window like someone expecting death at any second. "They're not people," he said slowly. "And not animals either. They're something else. Something nobody will believe until it's too late." Ethan glanced at the rearview mirror and froze. Two glowing orange eyes blinked at him from the tree line, then vanished. "You're hurt," Ethan said. Aaron peeled back a piece of his ripped hoodie, revealing long claw marks across his shoulder. "These aren't from a bear or a wolf." He closed his eyes. "Can you switch to high beams? They hate the light." Ethan flipped them on. The shadows in the forest recoiled as if burned. The truck thundered forward. "Where's your sister?" Ethan asked. "North Ridge," Aaron said breathlessly. "Old redwood cabin. She's 10. Her name is Leela. I locked her inside so they wouldn't get her." "And who are they?" Ethan pressed. Aaron's jaw clenched so hard blood seeped from a bite mark on his lip. "There are people helping those things," he whispered. "People who trade children for power." Ethan nearly choked. "Are you serious?" "I saw it," Aaron said, voice shaking. "I saw what they did." Suddenly a wrecked SUV appeared in their headlights. Ethan hit the brakes. A woman dragged herself out shaking, bruised, terrified. "Please," she cried. "Those shadows, they tried to take me." Her name was Emily Rhodes, a local school teacher. Aaron helped her inside. Now the truck held 3 people, one frightened driver, one massive bleeding bodybuilder, and one traumatized teacher, and outside, things that should not exist were hunting them. As they climbed toward the ridge, the air grew unnaturally heavy, the forest to still, the darkness to deep, as if the world itself was holding its breath. They left the truck and continued on foot. The forest was dead silent. To silent, finally they reached the cabin. "Aaron," came a trembling voice. Leela Blake peeked out from behind a chair, eyes wide with fear. Aaron rushed in and held her close. "I'm here, baby. I'm here." But then the forest behind them split open with a scream that could shatter glass, something primal, ancient, and monstrously alive. "Run!" Ethan barked. They sprinted through the trees. Shadows chased them, shapes that moved too fast, too silently, too wrong. Emily stumbled, Aaron caught her, and they burst toward the clearing just as helicopter lights tore through the sky. A rescue chopper swooped down, piloted by Ethan's longtime friend, Jackson Hale. "Get in," Jackson yelled. "I alerted the authorities, but Ethan, listen carefully. The sheriff's office is dirty. They're working with those people, Emily gasped. I told you they're an entire network. The creatures shrieked and pulled back from the harsh lights, but now armed men emerged from the trees, black tactical jackets, metal masks, and rifles equipped with tranquilizers and God knew what. One stepped forward. Hand over the girl, he said calmly. She's been selected, Aaron roared, over my dead body. Ethan shoved Leela behind him and raised a metal rod he'd grabbed from the truck. You monsters, he growled, aren't touching her. A gun clicked. Then the forest exploded. Creatures swarmed out, attacking the masked men. They scattered in panic. Now, Jackson screamed. Ethan shoved Leela into the helicopter. Emily climbed in next. Ethan grabbed the skid and hauled himself up. Only Aaron was left. A massive creature tackled him. He screamed, hanging off the edge of the chopper. Aaron, Leela cried. Ethan lunged and grabbed Aaron's wrist. You're not dying tonight. Another creature leapt, but the helicopter's floodlight burned its skin, sending it shrieking back into the dark. Ethan pulled Aaron inside. Jackson lifted off. Down below, monsters tore through traders who had once been men. They escaped, barely. 3 days later, the story detonated across national media. Jackson's flight footage exposed everything: corrupt officials, missing children, a hidden trafficking ring, and something far worse lurking in the forests. The FBI stormed the region. The network collapsed. The forest was declared a restricted zone. The creatures disappeared. Whether they fled or died with their human allies, nobody knew. Aaron survived, though, deep bite marks and claws carved scars across his shoulder and ribs. Leela stayed by his hospital bed. You saved me, she whispered. Aaron placed a hand over hers. No, Leela. We saved each other. Ethan visited every day. He had seen things no trucker should, things no one should. Weeks later, Ethan, Aaron, Emily, and Jackson stood outside the hospital, staring toward the dark line of the forest. What now? Emily asked. Ethan took a breath. We start something new, Jackson nodded. Something that watches the night instead of running from it. And so they formed the Night Watch Guardians, a covert volunteer unit dedicated to missing persons, unexplained disappearances, and night road rescues across the northern states. Sometimes, late at night, Aaron swore he saw orange eyes blinking deep in the woods, but they never came close. Maybe they were afraid. Because this time, the roads had protectors, guardians, men and women who didn't just drive through darkness, they became the light within it. All of it began with one impossible moment on a lonely highway. When a shattered bodybuilder stepped in front of a truck and whispered, "Please, follow me," before they take her. And that desperate plea didn't he just save a little girl, it awakened a force that would change countless lives. The end wasn't really an ending, it was only the beginning.